Okay, usual setup, guys. We'll start with the broadcast, then we'll split for the written. Bridgie, if you want to get us off and underway for Sky.
Thanks, Ian. Hi, David.
Hi there.
Team news, injury latest?
Probably much the way we were at the weekend. Tio's the problem. Tio come off with an injury, so that's the main ones. After that, I don't think we've got any more boys back from what we had last week.
I feel like you've had a lot of bad luck with injuries since you've been here. Is it, you feel like you've had bad luck?
We've had a bit of unfortunate injuries this year. The last couple of years we've had a brilliant record on injuries. The medical team have done a great job. Very few injuries over the last couple of years, but maybe just because of playing 60 games each in the last 2 seasons might have just taken a wee bit of toll in some places. But mostly I think it's probably the new boys we've brought in who've had injuries, but hopefully they're on their way back, all of them, and we'll get them back for the second half of the season.
It's going to be a great game tomorrow, I'm sure. But quite the different Chelsea side to the one you played in August, isn't it? I mean, it's made so many changes, Graham Potter. How long does it take for a new manager and getting so many new players in?
It can take time, I can tell you that, with us bringing new players in, but I think when you spend 600 million, it should give you half a chance, really, because but again, money isn't always the only thing to do with football. You've got to get the team right, you've got to get all the other parts of it going well, so hopefully we can give Chelsea a good game. Obviously they're a really good team, they've got some really talented players they've brought in, and but they all need time to gel, just like the ones we brought in the summer are taking a bit of time to gel as well.
West Ham fans are still talking about that game in Stamford Bridge in August, and rightly so, with the VAR at the end of that game. Do you feel like if it would have been different, maybe the season might have been different by now, or have you forgotten that game? It's hard to forget in a way, isn't it?
No, we've not forgotten about it. It was just a rank rotten decision by the officials on the day, and they've admitted to that. But it does have an effect on you. It was a really important time of the season for us. The difference of picking up point. We gained a really good point at Newcastle, hard fought point. If we had taken that point at Chelsea, what it would have done for us, confidence and our morale at that time, could go a long way. But it was a huge mistake.
In terms of the positives, though, there were some really good positives from the Newcastle game. Declan and Lucas Paqueta alongside each other. This could still be a great season, couldn't it? With Europe coming back, potentially putting away from near the bottom.
I believe we can have a good season. I think we've still got a lot to play for. I think we're showing a little bit better signs in some areas. But we're going to be challenged by good teams like Chelsea. We're going to be challenged in the European competition, which we're going into again in March. And we're in the next round of the FA Cup, so we want to try and keep ourselves involved in as many tournaments as we can. But our focus is solely on the Chelsea game and try to do the best we can against Chelsea.
A lot of people picked up on what you said about Declan and British record value after that game. I wanted to sort of add to that, because I remember you saying to me, with Mark Noble, the club captain, it's more than a player, isn't it, when your club captain moves on? Is that how you see it when we talk about value?
Well, I don't think we need to talk about it, because we're not even in the transfer window at the moment. We've just come out of that, so I think to ask me any more about it, I would probably bring out a lot of rhetoric, which I've already said. But we think he's a top player, and we're really pleased to have him. He's playing outstandingly well, and he has done for several seasons for us now.
It's been a busy week elsewhere. Do you have a view, or what are your thoughts on all the charges at Manchester City?
No, I wouldn't get involved in it. Probably not get enough intellect to understand them all, but no, it's not for me to talk about it.
No, sure. I mean, in terms of financial fair play, though, Gary Neville said it helps these supposed big six, doesn't it? Do you agree with that? Do you have a view on financial fair play in itself?
Obviously, it's part of the rules, and I think we all have to abide by what's going on. So, but again, it's not for me to talk about it. It's for other people who know more about it than me.
Finally, for me, it's dedicated No Room for Racism match.
Yep.
It's next week. I know this is a club very close to your heart now. This is a very diverse area. How proud are you of what this club does?
I think the club does a brilliant job in the East End of London. We see everybody the same. We treat everybody the same, and that's the way it should be. I couldn't believe that there's any other human being wouldn't treat another human being exactly the same. So that's it for us. Where the club are working really hard to make sure that there's diversity at the club, and we have a very diverse area in the East End of London.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, David. Good afternoon. The game on Saturday was your 643rd game as a Premier League manager. only Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger are ahead of you. How proud are you to reach this milestone, and how challenging was it?
Proud, I don't know if that's the word I would use, but I think it shows that dedication, a bit of resilience as well. I think to do that, especially to be a Premier League, I mean, I don't know how many years it sort of works out, roughly you have 40 or 50 games a season, but it's quite a few. And to do that, when we've seen so many good managers come and go in the Premier League over decades as we've all been watching it. So, yeah, I'm pleased to have done it. But I didn't see it as it wasn't something was in my head that I said, oh, this is coming up. It wasn't that. But certainly the two people you mentioned in front of me, I've got incredible CVs, and I'm pleased to be on a list just behind them.
When you look at the most recent game at Newcastle, how big was that point away for you because of the opposition and the performance overall you showed?
It was a good point. It was a big point. I hope we could have taken 3. But I think that the way they had played, if you watched them in the League Cup game in the midweek, they'd played incredibly well, and the atmosphere there and the way the crowd are behind them is giving them an extra 5%. The players, there's no doubt about that. And because of that, it did become a good point. But we played well, and I think we warranted our point. We played well off the ball. We had some good moments on the ball, but probably missed chances in the first half maybe to have got something slightly better.
Especially against Newcastle, we could really see the impact of the new signings, the teamwork together as a unit. How encouraging is it from your point of view?
Well, I'm beginning to see the likes of Nathan Agard and Paqueta beginning to show their value and what they're worth and what their abilities is. We've not got Gianluca Scamacca at the moment. We're looking forward to getting Danny Ings back into it as well. We're seeing a little bit more consistency from Emerson now, just beginning to get used to us as well. So we're just beginning to get some of the players who we brought in beginning to find a little bit of form and get used to us as well, which we always thought would be the case. I think new players coming to clubs in the Premier League now is really difficult to them all hit the ground running, and this season we've taken a little bit longer than we would have liked.
When you look at the amount of recruitment made by Chelsea in January, how challenging is it from the manager's point of view to find the right balance, chemistry on and off the pitch?
It's not easy, not an easy job having I told you, I said last week, the hardest part for a manager is leaving players out and picking the 11 and what ones you can't, because you want to involve them all. It's never an easy task when you've got an awful lot of players to choose from, and obviously got a lot of very good ones as well, which are probably used to playing most weeks.
Hello, David. On that note, would you like that dilemma, the dilemma of being able to spend £600 million and have 17 new players?
I'm not sure I would. No, not sure. Not sure it would be. I think sometimes you want to build a team and take it forward, but Chelsea are building their team. It's not for me to comment on how Chelsea do their business. They know how to do it. They've been very successful over many years, so it's their choice how they do it.
Because I think we had a similar conversation with you ahead of the Newcastle game, and the question being, does a lot of money lead to a lot of success?
Mm-hmm.
You suggested that you also needed to be a good manager as well. I think we've seen from Graham that he is a good manager, but the pressure there is high, the expectations there are high on him, I'm sure.
Graham Potter's an exceptional manager, and it wouldn't matter if he's been given 17 new players or whether he's had 17 who'd been there for a long time. He's still an exceptional coach. It won't change his abilities. It's great news that a British manager's got a chance to manage one of the top clubs in the country, and from that point of view, I think he'll go on to do a really good job.
How does it affect your plans to play against Chelsea when you don't know quite what to expect?
No, not easy, I've got to say. Not easy, but you just have to try and look to see. We've no idea what team Chelsea would play. They've got the ability to chop change, but probably for you people in the media, you've got no idea how you're going to write out the lineup or what you're going to think they're going to play either, because they have so many options.
Having been a manager of a club that's been trying to get into those Champions League spots over the last couple of seasons, are you seeing that gap starting to widen at all? Are you seeing that opportunity to finish in the top 6, the top?
I think it's incredible how it's changed. I think that we're probably seeing we're beginning just to see the emergence of, well, certainly of an Arsenal, who used to be, when a lot of us maybe a decade or so ago, maybe longer. You know, we're seeing maybe Manchester United just beginning to find their feet and get back onto their stuff. And you know, as we know, there's things going on at other clubs at the moment. And you know, so from that point of view, I think the Premier League's evolving at different times, different clubs coming into it. It wasn't long ago that Leicester City won the Premier League. You know, suddenly we're seeing really good form from Brighton, Brentford, Fulham are showing exceptional form this season. So I think we've got quite a very good Premiership, in as much as I think that some weeks you couldn't tell how the results are going to go.
And I know a lot has changed since then, but you will have fond memories of Chelsea's last visit to London Stadium.
Yes, I think we won that one, did we? Yeah, we did. Yeah. So the last time, was that the last time they've been here? Was it 3-2? You know, yeah. They've not been back since. No. Oh well, it was a great result. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
cameras off then, please, if we can.
You had a lot of games last year.
Yeah. No.